under my tongue.
Yeah, go ahead. I just started the recording.
Oh yeah, I was just saying I was trying all kinds of protocols too.
Well, wonderful. Have you picked up either one of my books?
Not yet. I didn't know you had them. I just only thing I know about you so far is this course. So are they on Audible or
Well, this
or
one's healing.
Kindle?
Is this reverse opposite? Can you read it? It's Healing Water from Within.
No, it's right for me.
Okay. And this one is the manual for urine therapy teachers and therapists. Here's 3 ways you can get them. You can either go to Amazon and get them as a paperback or an ebook, or you can get an autographed copy from me shipped to you from Colorado, and I'll pay for the shipping. And 3, a digital full color PDF file that I send to people worldwide through email. Audio hasn't been, well, we got an audio version, but the guy who put it together hasn't put all the files in one place. So I have to figure out how to, you can't really send one file after another, but yes, there's lots of ways to get it.
Okay, super cool. I find that I drive for Uber and Lyft full time right now, so I have 2 cell phones, so I listen to a lot of audiobooks while I'm driving. So that's like the easiest way for me to get through things. I don't have much extra time to read books very much right now in my life, but I can prioritize.
You're breaking in and out. Well, now you're muted. Oh, we lost Natalie. Where is Nicola? I got to get Nicola on the call, or else it's just the 2 of us. I'm calling Nicola. See if we can get him on the call. Nicola. There you are. You're connecting your audio as we speak.
Hello.
Bingo. All right, so I'm asking everybody to get barefoot and get comfortable.
Yeah, I was. I'm actually barefoot at the moment. I was going outside and I was rushing to get to the time.
That's okay. We're operating from eternal now time, which just means you can't be late.
Yeah.
Natalie, you're muted. Just so you know, Natalie, you're muted.
I know. Sometimes I have a Chihuahua, and sometimes he'll just bark if he hears another dog. So I thought if I mute myself, then there's no distractions. But hi, Nicola.
Hello. How are you, Natalie?
How's your wireless connection, Nicola? Nicola, sometimes your wireless goes in and out. Say something. Well, it looks like we have a frozen student here today. Don't be shy. It's a good subject. Nicola, say something. See, I guess resistance could come in all forms. I don't know what this is. Oh my goodness. Well, we're going to have to bring Babaji to zap everybody. Come on, Babaji, hit him up. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. This is Shiva incarnate, 9,000-year-old immortal being. And the people who are devotees of Babaji, can you unmute yourself, Natalia? Natalie? Oh, are you unmuted?
Yep.
In 1990, we'll get him back. In 1994, I had two books that inspired me to get into the urine therapy path. One was The Golden Fountain by Cohen Vanderkroon out in Holland. The second one, which is the one that made it all activated in me, got me going, was Secret of Youthing by Leonard Orr. Now, Leonard Orr had been a spiritual teacher and a mentor of mine for 40-something years. And he has always been a devotee of Babaji, which has been considered the guru's guru for Yogananda and many other masters on the planet. And various people like Leonard know Babaji as Shiva. And Shiva is the Hindu god of creation and destruction and new beginnings. And so it dawned on me that if Shiva tells someone to tell me to drink my water, I'm going to pay attention. So I did. And it's been a wonderful healing journey.
That's so amazing. I don't know why more people aren't talking about this. I can't believe I didn't learn about this sooner. Like, I try to be on the cutting edge of different healing things, and I'm just so grateful I found out about it now.
Well, when you are called, you're called. And you won't come before that time, and you won't come after that time. Nicola, welcome back. Connecting his audio.
Yeah, I was
Hello.
called.
Yeah, my internet kind of went up and down, but I'm back.
Okay, right now, Natalie's sharing her urine therapy journey. So go ahead.
I was just gonna say I was called to be on this class because I saw the post about the offering for this like a few days ago, and it just kept coming. My intuition kept telling me you need to sign up for the class and you need to be on that class. So last night I quick went and signed up because I knew it was starting soon, and I'm like, woohoo, here we are.
Wonderful. So these are going to be recorded, so you can give it your full attention. Note taking is okay, totally cool. If you brought something to drink, you'll always have something to drink if you get thirsty. And as you can tell, we're going to spice up the class with some jokes, because when I wrote this book right here, I realized that for the first time, now the books that came out in the market prior to my book was the books called Perfect Medicine by Martha Christie in the 1990s. Beatrice, what's her last name? She wrote a book, I'm not coming to me right now. She wrote a book on urine therapy, but the one that's the most well-known is Water of Life by John W. Armstrong. That was written in 1944. There's various other books that came out of India that were written in the 60s and 70s, but nobody touched the subject in a way that was either easy to understand, how to explain it to other people, how to make fun of a controversial subject. And so I spice this up with not only humor, but I came up with a whole vocabulary for our community called the Piscabulary of Urinisms. So if we tell pee jokes, you'll get to pee yourself in my presence and pee right at home with each other. So you get it? We're going to have some fun today.
Yeah.
Because when you start bringing up the subject to people, if you haven't already, you'll find out by their body language or their words, they got a little resistance to it. So I've been telling my friends here I live in Boulder, Colorado. I've been telling my friends is to get copies of my book and leave it out on a coffee table or on the toilet tank so people have something to talk about.
That sounds good. Yeah.
I did introduce it to the local public library, and for some reason, I don't know why, they gave me my book back and said they couldn't put it in the library book. Why would that be?
Conflict of interest, maybe.
Yeah, it could be. Maybe all the libraries are owned by Big Pharma. I have no idea. But Nicola, do you want to say anything before we get going to Natalie about how you got involved with urine therapy and why you're in this class?
Yeah, well, I began to discover new things basically since 2015, 2014, 2015. I actually didn't have internet in my house up until 7th or 8th grade. And then when I got it, I wanted to discover, like I started to play chess because I'm a chess player also, and started to see like conspiracy theories videos and stuff. I started questioning everything, like the water we drink, the food we eat, etc. And then when I stumbled upon urine therapy, like I was like, oh wow, another thing for widows. That's for me, you know. I can try that. And then I tried it, and it was actually very good. I experimented on many different ways of intaking it, and I did urine baths like in the nose, eyes, ears. Got dizzy a few times, but yeah, overall the experience was very healing for me.
Okay, here's a question for you guys. What mental hurdle did you have to go through to go from what you thought urine was to you about to discover what it really is? Did you have to go through anything mentally to make that jump to take your first drink?
Well, the first time when I drank urine, the first time I put urine in my mouth, I actually wanted to vomit. It was one of the most disgusting experiences of my life. And it tasted really, really kind of bad. But then when I took it the second time and the third time, I was like, oh, actually, like McDonald's tastes way worse than all this other stuff that I was eating before. And then as my taste started to change and become more natural, like my body just started craving more natural things. And all of my friends, for example, and family and stuff, they think that my food is tasteless, but like if I eat something with MSG, my brain just shuts down for a day. So everything.
So you can use your pee as a litmus strip. You can use it to determine if your diet has to be changed or if you need to fast. I mean, just by the taste, just by the look, just by the smell, just by the vibe of it, you can use that as an intuitive guide to make changes in things in your life.
Yeah.
That way
What?
That way you won't have to call me every day.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, in terms of that, I was a vegan for 2 years, and I tried my urine as a vegan and later on as a carnivore and made different diets. So I kind of have like big picture of taste and stuff. So yeah, my tongue is very experienced in terms of that, I can say.
Okay. Natalie, what did it take you to make the jump?
Well, I knew pee was sterile, and so that kind of fear drinking it, I guess, maybe. I didn't have as much fear, but I only just started drinking it in the last couple days. Like I took a sip this morning, and it did make me want to I gagged a tiny bit because I'm like, oh, but then I'm like, no, I want to see the effects and how it makes me feel, because reading a little bit about it, everybody's like, oh, I feel so energized and so amazing. So I'm like, well, I want that to happen to me too. So I just did it. But I didn't drink, because they recommend drinking a couple cups of it. I just drank a sip to start with. That was all I could handle. But I've been vegan for the last few years. So it has been interesting watching the different colors of my urine too, depending on what I'm eating. And it's really interesting.
Yes. Well, wonderful. It seems that more and more people that are doing this practice are eating more live foods. They're moving more toward what I call high vibrational foods. They're experimenting with fasting, fruitarianism, breatharianism, eating one meal a day. They basically have a new guidance system in their relationship with food. And you will also notice that the more you drink it, now I will be discussing several things in our talk. This is why this is going to be a 20-part series. So Nicola, if you can do more than just today's class, let me know. I've decided to open it up to anybody who wants to join for a donation basis. That way people won't be going, it's expensive, or I don't know if I want to do it. But we're going to talk about everything from saturation dosing to how Shivambhu alchemizes everything it touches, why it's intuitive medicine, and how to separate using Shivambhu intuitively versus dogma and rules and traditions and superstitions that have been handed down through thousands of years from the Hindus, from Greece traditions, from German traditions, and they made its way to 2021, and you have to decide, all right, do I have to follow those traditions and superstitions, or can I just trust my feelings?
Yeah, sounds good.
For example, the
Yeah, I was
DeMars,
always,
go ahead,
yeah, yeah.
Nicola.
Yeah, I was always interested in those kind of historical things, like from ancient architecture to like nutrition and everything. So yeah, I have some of my own crazy ideas about urine therapy, but I guess we can explore that too.
Okay, well, 5,000 years ago, this is according to the recorded history. You know, there's a difference between real history and recorded history. She knows that. Okay, so what we have to go by on our planet is a Hindu text or Hindu scriptures known as the Damar Tantra, D-A-M-A-R-T-A-N-T-R-A, Damar Tantra. And in the Damar Tantra, 5,000 years ago, this Hindu god, oh, I happen to have his picture, Shiva. That's him right here. All right, this is his partner, Pavarti. Now on the cover, she's holding her piss pot, her vessel, but it got cut off. The publisher cut it off accidentally. But anyway, so what happens is one day, Pavarti decides that she wants Shiva to come clean. So she challenged him, says, well, how come you don't age? You stay young, you stay healthy, you're still sexy, you look great. I don't know, he must have been 1,000 by then. I don't know what it was. She says, how do you do that? What's your secret? And he says, drink of yourself and live. And so the Damar Tantra is a 9-year program that teaches you how to heal everything and ultimately achieve physical immortality using the water of life. So 5,000 years later, writers in England and in India and the United States started bringing this to the public in the form of these books on urine therapy. But one of the traditions which I challenge, there's several, this is why I said you got to separate superstition and dogma from your intuition, because it teaches you that when you pee, you don't drink the first part, you collect the midstream, and then you let go of the tail of it. Have you heard that theory?
Yeah, I read that in the book that they say that the urine is kind of like a snake. That snake on its head has a poison, and then you cut it off, and the tail is also poisonous. So you take like the middle way.
Right. So that's based on superstition and tradition. All right. Now, if you understand that Shivambhu is a super food in its own right, it's a universal panacea, which means because it's so antibacterial, antifungal, antiviral, antipathogenic, anti-tumoral, anti-cancerous, antifungal, and on the list goes, nothing can contaminate it, which means every drop is as precious as every other drop. So whether you start it or whether you end it, when you collect it, you don't want to waste any of it. You see the difference?
Yeah.
If you follow the tradition that says there's a part of it that's unacceptable.
Mm-hmm.
Why would the beginning and the end be unhealthy, but the middle is healthy? So most of the people who are in the urine therapy communities got that part, and they drink as much as they can, and they use the rest for protocols, external protocols. And any questions about that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, in terms of that, yeah, that's what I was reading in the book, that like the middle urine is the best. And they also say in terms of tradition that it's very good to like wake up in between 3 and 4 a.m. and like face the east and then drink your first urine, and you should also like sleep on the earth before that. So I kind of have my ideas to like build an underground house or whatever like ancient Serbs did. But yeah, what do you think about that?
Well, we have to question everything that we were led to believe was true, because there's a lot of things people do in the name of their guru, spiritual teacher, health guru, and they come to find out that's his path. It may not be your path. So if you don't want to sit in an awkward, all pretzel twisted up body to do your yoga or to meditate, and still find peace of mind and still and quiet your mind, you'll figure it out without a dogma.
Yeah.
Okay, so the history goes back 5,000 years, and there are writings in my books about what happened over the 5,000 years up until the 1900s, where certain countries, they were using urine therapy, but we didn't really know about it. In some countries, they use it for horticulture and for growing plants. Some use it in the dye industry in their clothing. Cleopatra was known for using it for her beauty treatments. Today, it's used in well-known skin creams. The urea part of it, you've heard of urea? Right. Well, here's what's fascinating. It's known in the cosmetic industry for better skin and better hair. I mean, it's known, right? But yet the medical profession won't tell the public, but they know it. And a lot of things that we're actually teaching now is helping the tipping point on our planet. That's why it's exciting to talk about this, because a lot of people have given up on the medical profession, and they've given up on somebody to come save them. And the answer is right inside your body. Yay!
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I was reading about that also, like urea was like, for example, in UK they have like this men's, like on Serbian it's called pisor, but on English I don't know what it is. When people are standing and peeing, you know, like not as a toilet, but when they're standing and they're putting some kind of filters and taking urea from the urine and then using that to make like blood thinning medicine and all these other things. And it's very funny when people tell me like, oh, you drink urine, I'm like, well, if you wash your hand with soap, you're putting thousands of man's urine on your face and everything, and that's not yuck, you know? Like, I'd rather drink my own.
Yeah. So, Natalie, did you want to add something just now?
Yeah, it was really interesting about how people are shifting to not give their power away to somebody else, like with the Western medicine model specifically. But I've studied German New Medicine for the last 4 years. I don't know if either of you have heard of Dr. Hammer's work with German New Medicine, teaching every trauma creates a symptom in the healing phase. And so that is a paradigm shift. So everything taught as a child is not true, and now I believe what Dr. Hammer discovered in the 80s by taking CT brain scans. And so there's a whole big group of German medicine people on earth now that we're so empowered, and we have no fear because we know our body, its innate wisdom knows how to heal us. And so I love anything that's empowering that, and so this is so wonderful.
Well, thank you. I don't know if you caught any of our Zoom calls, but we've had 9 World Urine Therapy Conference calls twice a month since February. I hosted, and we've had as many as 14 guests, and all of them shared their wonderful stories. Many of them are popular urine therapy teachers and authors that I've gotten to know and love. And so that's been building not only momentum of bringing more people to the calls, but it's designed to spread the message worldwide. And so I'm pretty proactive in this, and we're working on getting all kinds of validation from various countries.
Yeah, that's a beautiful idea. Like if people could like just get free on their own, like that would be the most beautiful thing.
Yeah, if we can do that, that would be great. 2 of the people who are my advisors, Indira and Vijay Gupta, they've been doing urine therapy since 1984, and they're from South India. And we started putting together a proposal to the Prime Minister of India so he would acknowledge it publicly.
Oh, that's good. So
wouldn't that be cool if our president acknowledged it publicly? If we ever get one, that's another conversation. So any questions so far?
Well, I have some questions, but maybe that's not like related to the introduction period. Like just a moment ago, I had because I'm living in a village and I'm running through the grass and barefoot and all these things. and ticks all the time, like just bite me and stuff. Like what like if I don't take a tick out of my skin or something, and if it gets in, like what should I do in terms of urine therapy?
Yeah, so you already know that if it's, whether it's a tick, whether it's an insect bite. I mean, I paint murals here at this property. I painted 2 60-foot murals, and I didn't know that underneath the roof is where the wasps live, the bees and the wasps. So while I'm painting, they would be flying out, and I try to avoid them. They would still sting me, but I'm going, sure, guys, nice try. And I would pee on my sting. Within 10 minutes, the sting would stop hurting, and it would pop out in about 15, 20 minutes. So anything that's skin related, whether it's sunburn, whether it's a burn, whether it's a shave where you cut yourself shaving, you stepped on something, you have fungus in your feet, you have eczema, anything skin related, jellyfish sting, anything, that should be your go-to right away.
Mm-hmm.
And that bottle that you have, Natalie, that little 2-ounce cobalt blue with the dropper. Yeah, I highly recommend you get some aged urine in there, even if it's 30 days old. How old is that?
This is aged, but I just learned about this like 3 weeks ago. So this is probably 10 days old. I just bought the mason jars and started filling them. So I've probably been keeping my urine now for like 10 days. So I think I'm going to label, number my jars so that I know which one's the oldest. Cause now I'm kind of like, oh, which one was, and I put some in the sun today too. So I got to keep track of which one's what.
It's going to require some micromanaging. Yes, I get it. The bottle that you're holding, I've got 3-year-old urine in my bottle, and I carry it with me in my backpack everywhere. Somewhere around 2 or 3 in the afternoon, when your energy dips, it's great to do at least a dropper full under the tongue for a while, hold it for a little bit, and your brain comes back online. I mean, it's amazing.
I got a question about that one because I did the under the tongue one this morning. What did they call it? Sublingually, they called
Yes.
it in this one. Do you swallow it after that or spit it back out? I swallowed it, but I didn't know for sure what to do.
Great question. I want to answer that by answering another friend's question. Now, there are four protocols in the mouth. There's swishing, gargling. This is in the second book, the manual. Swishing, gargling, pulling, and looping or sip looping. Now he asked the question, he says, if you hold it in your mouth and do pulling, which is similar to coconut pulling, except you're not using oil, right? He says, well, what happened? Won't the toxins come off your tongue and your gums and your teeth? And wouldn't you want to spit that out? I said, in one understanding, that might be true. But in a broader understanding, Shivambhu alchemizes or transmutes whatever it touches, and whatever it touches becomes the urine. So you swallow it. It's no longer toxic to the body. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, knowing German new medicine, that totally makes sense because you want all the bacteria and microbes in you because that's helping you heal. They're your microsurgeons. So that's totally makes sense.
Right. And so when he posed the question to me, I says, well, you know what that, and if we use our critical factors, making a statement like that if you hold it in your mouth, toxins will come in and you should spit it out. I said, well, that implies you don't really know what Shivambhu is. Because why would you even put it in your mouth to begin with? Why would you put it on your body topically if it wasn't able to transform and heal you? He says, alchemize, I get it. And he picked it up right away. So that is the power of it. Now I want to go back to where we said, get rid of dogma. People said, well, should you use urine from another gender? I said, well, you can not only use it for another gender. Now I've had classes where there's students, and we've had gatherings over at my house where there's like 15, 20 students. They're all in their 20s. And we're doing spiritual purification exercises and breathing groups and fire ceremonies. And every now and then, one of the students brings their urine with me, and it could be a guy or a girl. And I say, can I have some of that? And so I would drink it not only in front of her or him, but in front of the whole class to teach that it's not gender specific. It's not age specific. It's not race specific. It's not specific whether the person's healthy, on drugs, sick, mentally disturbed. Shivambhu is the universal powerhouse, period. So when you get that kind of confidence, your faith gets to an all-time high, and you realize, wow, I've got my salvation in a jar. That was heavy. Nobody
Can I
said
ask something, Joseph? Can I ask something?
Please
Because
do.
I'm looking down, I'm writing things down. Well, people say that, for example, because of the estrogen content in women's urine, that like I was reading in a book, like for example, for cancer, it's recommended to like do like 2 hours urine massage all over the place from the same gender. But like, for example, if a man would to drink a urine of a woman, like let's say for 10 years all the time, wouldn't he like become a little bit feminized or a little bit like estrogen pumping up, like a long term?
I would say no, because it would be in a trace amount. I don't think it has to be more dominant than what they say it is, because there's 3,000 components in urine. And if estrogen or testosterone is among them, I don't think it has enough to tip their male female energy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it may just be that the guy who drinks it is testosterone dominant, and he needs the feminine side to loosen up or be more sensitive.
Yeah, so it balances out. Yeah,
I wouldn't worry about it. And it might be interesting is to do a follow-up on the guy. Find out if he's wearing dresses.
yeah, and like another thing I saw that people recommend is that, like for example, if somebody from Europe is to come to Africa or somewhere where there's like malaria and stuff, the first thing that people should do is to find the healthiest looking person on the street and ask them to donate some urine, because they're like charging themselves with like anti whatever it is in the environment, and then they can be more resilient.
Yeah, well, I'd like to know how that works. It sounds like it's something I would do, because of the antibodies and stem cells and all the important immune building properties in there. You can't go wrong. And I'm surprised that nobody's funded research projects to go into these countries and teach them that. I mean, I created a nonprofit organization so we could take this worldwide. We're just looking for funding, and I'm going to jump on a plane and come to you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a company that started called onpassive.com, and they have a whole, it's called Oh Bless, but they have a whole funding system set up within it that anybody can put their ideas on there, and then people from all over the world will fund whatever they feel called to. Could be a good
Can you send me a link?
Oh yeah. They're in the soft launch right now, and then they're gonna launch worldwide soon. They're anticipated to help uplift humanity out of poverty.
Oh, nice.
Unicorn company within 1 year. They'll be valued over $1 billion. There's already about 600,000 founders already connected with the company. So it's amazing things and what people can do when you all get together and have the right mindset, to help people be thriving on Earth, not just surviving. And so it's a great, that could be a perfect opportunity for what you're trying to do.
Yeah, thank you. Because the big picture, when I put together our nonprofit called Shivambhu, the big picture dropped in, and the big picture not only includes going to these different countries, creating what I call an outreach program or a ministry, so that people like yourself who want to organize local groups off the internet, teach people how to self-heal and have their own health care and create supportive groups. That's part of the big picture. The other one is to take a film crew around the country and around the world entitled Following the Shivambhu Trail, and talk to people on the streets about this modality and see if anybody wants to know more about it.
That would be
a really good video because you could see the people's expressions when you tell them about this, like, wow, like what? Like those kinds of reactions would be really fun to see.
Well, here in Boulder, Colorado, there's a popular plaza known as Pearl Street Mall. And you can set up as a nonprofit and stand out and pass out literature and have people sign up stuff. So I go out there every now and then. They're still doing the social nonsense, distancing nonsense. But when that starts to change, we're going to have it set up so people come up. And I'm thinking of not calling it urine therapy, but calling it golden blood water therapy, golden blood plasma water therapy. Because people have heard of plasma. You're familiar with plasma, right?
Oh yeah. Yep.
What's interesting is when the COVID hit, they were talking about plasma therapy being the cure for COVID out in Israel. They were talking about plasma. Well, urine is plasma. It's ultra-filtered plasma, blood plasma. It turns into, highly filtered water. And it's also the fifth state of matter, which, if you know the states of matter, which is solid, liquid, gas, air, the fifth state of matter is plasma, which is also 5D consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
So people who drink urine, especially people who sniff it or drink it up the nose, are going to start having their pineal glands activated and rehydrated. So if you want to see people started thinking like 5D or ascended beings, get them into urine therapy.
Yeah. Just quick note on that. Like one time I was maybe I can show that it's not here at the moment. I have some plastic thing that I'm using, and I'm filling it up with urine, and then I put in one nostril and another. And people, I think, need to do like the same amount, because if I did a little bit here or there, like I get dizzy, and then I need to go to my inclined bed to rest a little bit.
So what is it you're using? Is it like a nebulizer? What is it?
Well, I can maybe I can find it somewhere here in the room.
Can you describe it?
Kind of like it's like a kind of like a plastic. It's not the same as injection. It's kind of like the injection shape, but the plastic on the top. So like I can just squeeze it like
a syringe. It's like a syringe.
Yes, yeah. Oh, syringe. Yeah, exactly.
But it's plastic and it doesn't have a needle. It has a plastic.
Yeah, it doesn't have any. Yeah. It's a syringe.
Yeah, those are great for also cleaning the ears.
Yeah, and I found that if I clean the ears, I need to do it with warm. Even if I do it with only water, or like with warm water or urine, because if it's cold, it also makes me dizzy.
Okay, so the syringe, I'm not going to run in my bathroom, but I got it possibly every possible piece of equipment for protocols. It holds 20 cc's of urine, and what people do with it is they'll either squeeze it up the ear and let it drain that way, or they're tipped the head back so they can go deeper into the eustachian tubes and get into the sinuses before they tip your head and drain it.
Mm-hmm.
They sell them at Walgreens. It's called an ear syringe, or it's not a bulb, it's a syringe. Natalie, did you want to share your neti pot?
That's what I used this morning, was my neti pot, because I've done neti pots, but usually I'll use baking soda and water. And so it was definitely an experience. I mean, I felt a little more burning, but I just knew that I feel fantastic now. And it really I don't have that much mucus in me, but it got a little mucus broke up, and I feel really great now. So that was. And
you were doing your nose, or right? Your nose?
Yeah, both sides. I did both sides the same amount. Yeah.
Have you tried sniffing it up while you're doing one side?
I read that in that book I read, and I don't even know what kind of container I would use to like sniff it. I really would need to see a video of somebody doing that. That would help me. Because that one was mind blowing. I was like, I don't even.
Go to the Shivambhu hut. And the way to get to the Shivambhu hut is to go to shivambhu.org. And let me spell it for you, because we use the traditional Sanskrit spelling, which is SHIVAMBHU. Ambu means water. So it means the water of Shiva.
Okay.
So when you're doing it in the nose, they've got several ways to do this. You can do old school, roughing it like you're out on a you're hiking, palm of your hand, sniff, like you're snorting something in your nose. That's one way to do it. All right, you already got it. It's free. It's a hand. All right. The second thing you can use is your glass. And what guys are doing is they're drinking out of one nostril or the other. It takes some getting used to. See, and there's ways to do. I mean, I can teach you how to make that work. But what happens is when you're bringing it up to the nose area and the sinuses for most people are dehydrated, or they have mucus lining in it, or they're acidic, whatever it is. So when they first start bringing up the nose, it stings until you get used to it.
Yeah, it even brought up childhood trauma for me because swimming in the chlorinated pools a couple times growing up, I remember getting the water up my nose like that. And I didn't like that sensation. And so when I started doing the neti pot, that right away came to me and I was like, oh gosh.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. And it took me a while to actually train my mind to go, wait a minute. There are a lot of people doing this. I can do this. It's just another straw. The nose is a straw, right? So you have to rethink it. And now Samuel Cohen has a wonderful book, which is out for free. He has an ebook called Drinking Through the Nose. I think it's drinkingthroughtheNose.com. And he's been doing this for 20 years, and he learned it from a spiritual master named Kelly Ra. And what they do is you put some in your mouth. You put some in your mouth and you hold it in your mouth. Okay, pretend my mouth is closed and there's pee in there. And then you drink it in the nostril. He says it keeps you from opening up and it goes further back into the sinus area. All right. And then when he shows people how to do it, him and his guru, Kelly, this guy found a way to like hold a jar, hold the glass inside the nape of his elbow, close off one ear, and then he'd drink a whole glass of it. And these guys took it to another level. They were drinking coconut water in the nose. They were drinking wine through the nose. They drink a green drink through the nose. I'm going, okay, fine.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but you see, there are people who are teaching things that are beyond what we're used to. So it takes a shift of perception. Then it's not crazy so much.
Yeah,
You and I,
yeah.
or we wouldn't be having this talk today.
Yeah, it sounds kind of very different, but yeah, it's like new things are usually very exciting to me. So yeah, I like it.
Mm-hmm. Now, over the last two books that I've written, this one has the accumulation of all 24 protocols. I only knew 11 back in 2018, but 16 more 13 more protocols showed up in my life over the last 3 years, and that include belly button soaking,
Mm-hmm.
tongue scraping, sip looping, saturation dosing. They're all in the book. Any questions on any of those?
Well, I heard that like it's very good to put like to soak urine into something and put it on certain places when a person is like hurt or he has some problem, or like for example, if people have tooth problems, they put urine into something and then put it there to like drip a little bit. But for me, that's too slow. I just put it into hand and put it there and just hold it like this for like half an hour or whatever. It goes away.
Mm-hmm. Are you thinking about a cotton ball?
I don't know the terms, but I read it in a Serbian translation book, so I don't know.
Because if you go down to the store or a pharmacy store like Walgreens, they have cotton balls, and cotton balls are great. So if you have a cut,
yeah.
a blemish, you can just dip something on something really fast.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Or
Yeah.
if you've cut yourself now, I'm in my 60s. Can you tell?
Not
No.
really.
Not really. I'm going to be 67 this year. But what happens is some of our guys, they have capillary bursts, and all of a sudden you got a purple spot a reddish purple spot on your arm. You seen these on people, Natalie? Do you ever get them?
No, I don't get them, but I'd be interested to look it up on German New Medicine to see what's causing it.
You see that? They tell us because the skin is thinner when you get older, whatever that means. And I get these capillary bursts, but I put Shivambhu on it, and in 3 or 4 days it's healed. And sometimes it happens, I can barely touch something. All of a sudden I'm going, what the heck? It's a capillary burst. It's not a disease condition. And you can actually either heal it with urine. I used to use frankincense essential oil, and it worked really well too.
Mhm.
Anybody still here?
Yep, I'm
Yeah, I'm here just to yeah.
Oh, then I'll get drunk on happy juice. In Botswana, they call this U juice. In Nigeria, they call it Itu, ITO. Every country seems to have a different name for it.
Yeah, I just was looking for capillaries on, because I don't know what in German, I don't see, it's got to be something with the veins, because your capillaries are coming out your veins. So I don't know what they call it, because German medicine has an alphabetical listing of every disease, like 500 of them or whatever in our species. And you can click on it and see what trauma created it. But I'd have to know more what they call that in, because it'll tell you what happened to you. And then you a certain way, and then it triggers, that's the healing phase. But because even talking about the immune system, like that's what Dr. Hammer's work discovered, is like the immune system theory and the germ theory, they're not true. And sometimes that shocks people a lot too. Like, we don't have an immune system, but when you first hear that, you're like, what? Because it's all we've been told our whole lives. Same with the germ theory, like the bacteria and viruses aren't getting in us, making us sick. They're there helping us heal when we have a trauma, and then our body heals us stronger because we're mammals. And then the next time we can endure that trauma easier. So it bumps up against a lot of beliefs out in the world. And so it has to be like kind of gently brought into your life so that you can accept it, because it's very shocking at first.
Well, you brought up a good point about the microbes and about the bacteria. I went to a freedom fighters rally. It wasn't really a rally. It was more of a celebration of life. We had 150 people show up and give talks on what's going on in the world and how we can still remain being sovereign, living men and women on the planet. And she says, well, microbes is something you need. You can forget about the virus. Microbes is something we need to be a healthy species on this planet. And one of the best way to get microbes is through hugging. And so as soon as this announcer says it, everyone was like turning around, hugging each other, going, oh, can I have some of your microbes? Come here, come here.
Yeah, the sterilized countries are the sickest because they don't have bacteria and microbes in their environments to help them heal.
Yeah. So I want to talk a little bit about aging. People ask the question about aging urine. And Harry Matadine, a good friend of mine, has written 3 books on aged urine.
That's the book I read last night. Yeah, age. I forgot the title, but yeah, I should send you a picture of it. Yeah, that's so you know him.
Oh, we've known each other for 3 years.
Oh, that's so cool.
What's the name of the guy?
Harry Matadine. He's in England. We've interviewed each other 3 times. He comes to as many Zoom calls as he can.
And also, I wanted to ask you, can you tell me the name of the person from drinking urinethrough-the-nose.com?
Samuel, middle initial G as in God, last name Cohen, C-O-H-E-N. Samuel G. Cohen. He was in Goa, India. He might have returned to Israel. I don't know. Or England.
Mm-hmm.
And so aged urine is the potentized and maturing form of urine. And in order to explain it to non-Shivambhu devotees, that's what I call you guys. The guys who are the non-believers, if you start talking about aged anything, they're going to be polarized and triggered, because to me, words are powerful things to use. And so when I start talking about aged urine, I noticed people started flinching and making that grinch face, because age usually is associated with getting old, losing your abilities, falling apart, dying. So I've upgraded the word to evolutionary urine. It's evolving urine. The moment you collect it, it's starting to amplify. It's starting to increase in stem cells, antibodies, nutrients. It's starting to mature. It's starting to evolve. So to me, an alternative word is evolving urine. Monica Shute is another great writer. She's out in Costa Rica with her husband. She calls it maturing urine. Harry calls it aged urine. We're talking about the same thing. But just be mindful when you introduce it to people, their responses to what words you use.
Yeah,
Because we want.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I really like how you call it evolving urine instead of aged urine. That's really good.
Yeah, on Serbian language, we use the word ustajali, which means sitting for a long time, or like being for a long time, or something like that. So it's kind of like the same thing, evolutionary urine, but just said in a different way, like kind of automatically, you know, like just by itself getting richer and better and stuff.
Some people think that Shivambhu is kind of like kryptonite. It's kind of like Superman's kryptonite. Nothing can hurt it. Nothing can make it sick. Nothing can tear it apart. So whether you decide to cover it in cheesecloth or screw on a top or put it out in the sun, put it in a crystal or put it under a pyramid, I sometimes put it on a Tesla purple plate. You can play with it energetically all you want, but it is like the most powerful substance in the universe. And Shivambhu is as powerful as you say it is. So, you know, I would, whenever you use it, I always honor it and say a little thank you, say a little prayer with it.
Yeah, you know, like we did on last call.
I tell it, I honor the space in which you exist.
Yeah, you can instruct it, you can align with it and work with it and set your intention for how you're going to heal anything in your body. Any questions before I move on?
I was trying to remember something. Oh yeah.
I'm working on healing a cavity right now because I had my mercury filling, my amalgam filling taken out a couple of years ago and I didn't have a refill it. And now I see the bacteria is in there, all white in there, healing it. It's getting lighter and lighter every day. So I think the urine can even help it heal faster.
Yep. You can also, you can use nebulizers. You know what a nebulizer is?
Not really.
I've heard the word before, but I don't know for sure.
Most people are familiar with a diffuser.
Oh yeah.
A diffuser is another name for a nebulizer. What it does is converts the urine to a vapor.
Oh, that's
all right. Now these guys just came in the market. Harry turned me on to this. I bought one right away. Him and Matt. What this is a, I can send you the link. This is a nebulizer that has a mesh screen. So there's no particles except pure vapor comes through. It comes with an attachment for your mouth or a mask for your face. Well, you can use this to run it into, to vaporize your ears, your nose, your eyes, your face. You can do, you know, like hydrolysis, exfoliation. There's a lot of cool supplies and equipment out there to play with. This is battery operated. See how small it is? You can take it on the road. It holds about 1/3 of an ounce at the top here. Right in there, it holds about 1/3 of an ounce.
How much does it cost, that one?
This one's about $35 on Amazon. I can send you the link. And there's other versions of it, but you got to make sure it has the word mesh in it, MESH. Because there's a lot of spin-offs on the market, but they're low quality and you get what you pay for.
Yeah, that would be around $60 for me, because like I could, like on the borders, they charge us $30 more. So yeah, not bad.
Yeah, you might try local Craigslist or eBay. I don't know
Yeah.
how that plays out. So this our first class is more like an overview intro. And as you notice, I've touched on kind of like bullet points.
Yeah. Yeah, I wrote something about everything.
Eventually, we're going to talk about why Shivambhu heals some people and doesn't heal everybody. Ever thought about that?
Maybe because of intention behind using the urine.
Well, in order for urine to really take effect, you need to change your diet and lifestyle. Because the people who are just drinking it,
Yeah.
but they're still doing drugs, they're still eating meat, they still have bad habits and addictions, they have negative ideas, they're miserable inside, they're not doing any spiritual practices. Shivambhu is more like a band-aid. It will work incrementally, but you got to change the bad habits and upgrade everything. That's the holistic approach: mental, emotional, physical,
Yeah.
and spiritual.
Yeah, people, because of the modern medicine and everything they think that, oh, I can take this one pill and get better. Or like, I can take this and get better. Like one cure all like doesn't exist, I believe, in holistic lifestyle.
Right, but if they don't change the way they eat, if they don't change their attitude, if they don't change the way they relate to human beings, it's going to take a lot longer, and they may or may not improve.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask you, what do you think about other types of urine? Like I was reading in a book that like there is like a urine cooked to 1/3 on the or the half, and there is like a magnetic urine and like different types of urine. What do you think about that?
You're talking about urine from other species?
No, urine, human urine. Like they say that urine that is cooked up to 1/4 or 1/3 has specific properties versus raw urine or urine that is aged and these things like that.
Yeah, I'm totally against boiling it, cooking it, altering it. You see, it's perfectly combined for you as your perfect medicine, timed out exactly when you're supposed to take it. And you don't have to improve on it. But that's personal choice. I mean, I knew this one guy, he wrote a book on it, and he suggests putting in Everclear or vodka in his urine. I'm going, not for me. No, thank you.
Yeah, that's crazy. So, and what do you think about the urine injections? Some people say that from urine therapy groups on Facebook that I'm joining, that like they tried all types of urine and everything, but nothing helped as much as like injections. So what do you think about injection?
Well, I wrote about them in my books. It's terrific for people who need to have that kind of nutrition inside their body ASAP. If it's a life and death situation, they've just had an asthmatic attack, they've had some kind of heart condition, and you can't stop and wait for them to pee. And you've got yours, you got a needle, pop it in there. And there's other people, they just want to know how to take their health to another level, then they'll poke themselves in their thigh and they'll get urine in their bloodstream. Yeah, I think it's terrific. I just haven't done it yet.
So like when, where should people, if people do it in the veins, can that be like because I saw from one documentary that one guy said, oh, I just did it in the vein to see, like for experimental reasons, and like nothing happened. So I don't know. But I heard from others that like somebody put like saliva into the vein and they died. So I don't really know.
You saying they put some in their mouth and they died?
No. But some people injected urine into the vein and nothing happened to them. But some people are saying if they use other liquids from their body like saliva, that there are some people who died from it. So how does that work? Like, is it safe to do directly in the vein or the urine?
Yeah, I would say it's safe to put the urine directly in the vein. More people are telling me they poke themselves in the thigh instead of their arm. And they're putting into the fascia, into the muscle, and then it's delivered that way. I'm not a nurse practitioner, so I wouldn't know all the ins and outs of injecting, but a lot of people have saved their lives using it. You know, and if you know how to poke yourself, I would say it's worth the risk. There's not really a risk, but Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's going to be an intuitive thing for people.
Yeah, because I would really like to. I here and there drink a little bit of urine and done this or done that, but I would really like to have like my like weekly practice of urine, like that I'm doing to keep myself healthy. Because people think that definition of health is only the absence of the disease, but I disagree with that because like ancient tribes, like Weston A. Price, he for example went to throughout Africa. And he found some tribes that were least healthy, medium healthy, and the most healthy, but all of them had abscess and disease. But people think that healthy means when people don't have no diseases because, oh, they just don't have signs of deterioration yet to be shown and like be like cancer throughout the throat all the way and stuff. So,
well, the happiest people in the world are the ones that don't have fear. They don't have concern. They're living on faith. They have a very high positive state of mind. And some of these people live high in the Andes, live high in India. They live in places they're not around civilization or the EMFs from society. The best way I can explain why some people get sick and some people don't get sick is, have you heard this before? The two reasons people get sick is either from what you eat or by what's eating you.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I never heard that before, but
Yeah, the things that cause people to be sick are what's eating them psychologically and emotionally.
right. That's exactly what German New Medicine teaches you. Because it's not what you eat. Like nothing really outside of your environment really makes you sick. That's the old belief. And German New Medicine teaches you it's how you perceive what's happening to you in your environment at every moment. And depending on how much that affects you, depends on how many symptoms are going to show up in the healing phase.
Right. Now, I wrote an article. We still got a little bit of time here. I wrote an article in 2006 that got published and distributed pretty far. And the title of the article is Your Sacred Life Foods, Your Spiritual Path, and Your Urine Therapy Will Not Save You from Your Mind. If you have misery in your soul, if you unconsciously hate yourself and secretly want to die, Shivambhu, your spiritual path, your guru, your lover won't save you. You have to get your mind straightened. And that seems to be the challenge for a lot of people.
Yeah, like transformation needs to be like from the inside out. And that's why, for example, there are people that their parents or I don't know, relatives or somebody would force them to go on a certain diet. And like in a month or two or sometime they would be like, oh, that's boring. Even if they have results, they're gonna go back to drugs and stuff because they still stay inside the same person. They're just acting like out like actors.
Yeah, well, those are the same people who say, I've been there, done that, and they give lip service to urine therapy. But the people who really are serious about living, they're self-motivated. These are the folks like you and I who will never get off this path.
Yeah,
the ones that are devoted to this work and are serious about doing the practices every day, there's the ones that recover and get their health back.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So the people who say, well, I tried it, didn't work, I said, you didn't give it everything.
And even if they did give it everything, like they didn't like make other aspects of life as devoted to them as like drink urine, their food, the way they sleep, environment that they're in. So
yeah, I mean, after a while, you see how Harry lives his life, you see how I live my life. It becomes a way of being. It becomes integrated and woven into the fabric of who you are. So everywhere I go, I have people that know I talk about urine therapy. They go, oh my God, I can talk to someone about this. I felt so isolated. I didn't know anybody did this kind of thing. And people are going to look at you, Nicola and Natalie, they're going to see you glowing. They're going to see you radiating and they go, what are you doing? I want some of that.
Yeah. Yeah, like the results are obvious and like good leaders really lead by example. Like they don't need to speak much. So
no. And this is great because all I have to do is say, here, buy a book.
yeah, I'll buy
so
it.
Natalie, anything else you guys want to say as we come to a close here at some point here? Anything you want me to talk about?
Yeah, holding my Chihuahua Tiger, I feel like, gosh, maybe I should offer him some of my urine in a dish and see if he drinks any. It could help him stay super happy and healthy too. Or I could
You
try,
can?
yeah, or I could try to capture his urine too. But I'm like, oh, I gotta speak and offer him some of mine. He might like, I don't know, he might try it. I don't know. I'll have to see what he does.
Well, you can try it orally, or you can have him step in it.
Oh, that's
Do a
good.
foot-
Oh yeah,
do a
yeah,
foot-
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Do a foot
that's,
soak or get a washcloth and give him a bath.
oh yeah.
Mhm. Yeah,
See, all
that's
the
kind of, yeah, yeah, yeah. What idea?
all the protocols are designed to stimulate your imagination so you can customize them so they work for you.
Cool.
Yeah, that's kind of very similar to Chinese medicine and meridians and like putting like onions in your socks and stuff. Yeah, great idea.
Yeah, for the longest time now, I'm a fruitarian, mostly fruitarian. And in the winters of Colorado, one of our tricks out here is to put cayenne pepper in your socks
Oh, yeah, I heard of peppers too.
because it'll be absorbed in the feed, and then your circulation will improve.
So what do you think about the combination of those two? Would it
Oh,
be
what? Of
onion
what?
and pepper, yeah.
Onion and cayenne, or onion and urine?
Well, onion and cayenne pepper kind of to sleep with the salad in the socks or something.
Yeah, you're fine. You can throw in garlic. You might lose some friends, but you know what the heck.
Yeah. Yeah, but speaking of isolation and stuff, like on the last conference, I really felt like when I need to introduce myself, oh my God, I felt like I'm gonna get a heart attack, you know? I was like, oh, I hope he's gonna pick me last one, you know? And then I started like speaking and speaking, and people looked at me and I'm like, oh, wow. They don't think living healthy is strange, like this is new, you know? I mean,
Well,
yeah.
did you get to the point where you felt at ease and comfortable with everybody?
Yeah, it was quite cool afterward. It's kind of like that heart beating a little bit and then like, oh, still alive. So cool, you know, I can continue. I mean, I have people that I talk about health and like these things, but I never had like the group of 10 people watching me like giving 2-minute ceremony or something. I don't know.
Well, what's really going to help you evolve, and what's really going to stretch your consciousness, is being on the world stage. And the fact that you go to those calls, all of a sudden you're known by a lot more people than you've ever been known by.
Yeah, no. Sure.
Have you met Elijah?
Was he in a call?
Yeah, he's been on the last 6 or 7 calls. He goes by the name of Eli, and he came on, he's 25, and he publicly announced that he got off pornography addiction.
Oh,
And urine therapy helped him to break a pornography addiction. Well, when he first came on the call, and he was just me, and one other person was on the call, he was looking at my name, and all of a sudden he pulls back away from the camera and goes, "Oh my God, you're Brother Sage. I've been following you." I said, "Okay, whatever, let's get on with the call." So it's no big deal anymore. So Nicola, if you guys want to do now, Natalie signed up for the series. So Nicola, if you want to do more of these classes, if you want to invite anybody else, let me know.
Yeah, I think I will do more of them, but to be honest with you, like how much minimum would be for me to pay?
Well, right now I've changed the payment to donations. So it's whatever
like,
you feel like paying for classes.
Yeah, here people usually do like for a math class or any kind of class, like just few dollars. So can I do it like that?
That'll work, or you can bring in students that come for free. See how negotiable I am?
Yeah, I can try that.
The whole idea is to make these available to who's ever interested.
Yeah, I will. There is one woman I know, but I don't know. In Serbia, urine therapy and these things like are alternative things are not very accepted, and I'm doing a lot more things than urine therapy. Like I'm sleeping on an inclined bed. I want to live in underground house. Like I'm like into ancient architecture. Eating like raw eggs, raw milk. I was a vegan also for 2 years. Like I experiment with a lot of things, and like I don't have much people to talk to. So
Well, there's 8 billion prospects for you.
yeah, more can spread. Yeah.
Wonderful. So Natalie, anything you'd like to say, or what did you get out of today's class?
Yeah, I would just like to say I grew up on a dairy and grain farm in Minnesota. So I grew up on unpasteurized milk my whole life. Like, but now I've been vegan the last few years because I don't like how they treat the dairy cattle and take their babies away from them right away. It's so traumatizing. I'll get tons of symptoms and all that emotions of milk. I don't like how those sentient beings are treated just for money. So I don't support that. But this was so amazing. My mind was blown many times. So yeah, we'll see you on Friday again. And thank you for offering this. I have one friend for sure that she has some health issues. I'm gonna reach out to her because she's in a German New Medicine group with us, but I want to know if she knows about urine therapy because she's really holistic into a lot of things. So I'm gonna mention this to her to see if that'd be something she'd like to learn more about to help her reach her health goals.
Perfect. If you guys decide you want to send payments, send them through my PayPal account, because the other route went through our nonprofit, and that takes a while to funnel money around. So I'll leave that link for you.
Yeah, I sent it through your PayPal, right? You got it, right? I'm pretty sure that I
Yeah,
don't know,
Chris.
I did the link, so I hope I got the right way.
No, that's fine. Christopher's running that link through our nonprofit, so he's going to run it through a couple accounts before he pays me, but it'll all work out.
Oh, I didn't know that. I just reached the link and away I went, but okay.
I'm learning as I go. Meanwhile, if you have any topics you want me to discuss, any of the classes, let me know.
Could you send me the link? Could you send me your link? So if I tell my friend, I can send her the right link. Okay, thank you.
Yep, I will do that. PayPal.me/Brother Sage. We're in real time. PayPal.me/Brother Sage.
Got it.
PayPal.
Now this is
Can you repeat again? PayPal. What?
PayPal.me/Brother Sage.
Okay.
Now this is being recorded, so when we're done here, I can actually switch to a laptop and upload it and send you guys a link.
All right. Yeah, it's been very fun. Like I was really enjoying it, and yeah, can't wait another one. So the
Good.
next
Here's some of the things we're going to go over in the upcoming classes. The history we kind of touched on, how it alchemizes everything, sip looping, baby stepping people into this, how to baby step people who are real shy, saturation dosing, Shivambhu as an intuitive medicine, which I kind of went over, why it is perfect medicine, how to explain it to non-believers and newbies. That's a fun one. First thing you want to remember, if someone comes up to you and says, urine is a waste product, why would you want to drink anything your body eliminates? First thing you want to do is take a deep breath and say, where did you get that idea? Because most people are sheep people anyway, and they can repeat what someone told them. They never did their research. So if you ever want to argue with a non-pee drinker, you'll win the argument every time, or they'll run away.
Yeah, cognitive dissonance works very strongly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I have one more question now when you mentioned babies. In the urine therapy group that I'm in, they said that force feeding babies urine is like prohibited against like policy of the group. But like I'm very interested to ask, like if urine therapy makes somebody looks very young and like youthful, what would happen, for example, if the parents would put baby's urine on the baby like since its birth, like up until 10 years old, would they look like 2?
I love it. I love it. Oh my God, the baby's still a baby. First of all, I'm talking about baby steps, which is how,
Yeah, I know.
okay, but a baby has been in urine for 9 months. So when it's out of the womb, it already has a very powerful memory of living in water, drinking its water, snorting its water, massaging its body. So what I would do is bring it back to the baby and not think twice about it. You got to put away what other people's ideas are and figure it out from your intuition. What would you do?
Yeah, that's kind of cool, because in a book I read that like a baby's urine and urine of the children up to 10 years is like the most powerful. So I was just imagining, like, if a baby looks like like 0 years old, and you put urine on it all over and over again every single day, like up until when it's 15, people would think that, oh, which kindergarten are you going to, or something, I don't know. And they would be
Well,
finished high school.
if you're talking to a non-pee drinker and you want to mess with their head, here's two things that you can do. One is, do you know why your penis and your vagina are so beautiful? Where all penises and vaginas are so beautiful is because you dribble on yourself every day. And that's nutrition going back into your bloodstream. They go, what? The other thing is, majority of people pee in the bathtub, but they won't admit it. So everybody takes a urine bath all the time, but they don't see it that way.
And even if they don't pee on themselves, like for example, if somebody is in a train or on the bus or something, and they have urge to pee, but they don't, after like half an hour, I read in a book, and I know by experience that they would feel less desire to pee, because most of that is absorbed anyways.
Yeah. So I'm sure pee touches people every day, all the time. They don't even think about it.
Yeah.
That got you going, Natalie, didn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, also, like for example, I was reading about people in the deserts. They don't have no soaps or nothing. They just live with camels and by themselves. So they drink raw camel's milk and take their urine and their camel's urine. So I was, maybe this is, I don't know if I should ask this, but like when people are washing themselves, is it enough to use like raw urine to wash feces off of a human's body, or does it require for urine to be fermented for that, or how does that work?
Well, urine is urine. I mean, you have to figure that one out. A friend of mine who was in India with the breatharian Elatom, she brought me back a pint container of cow urine. It's called Gumatra. And she thought, well, I'm into urine. Maybe I should bring him some cow urine. So I smelled it and I drank some, and that was it. I couldn't stand it because it smells like I'm drinking from the bottom of a barn floor. I'm going, okay, it's probably really healthy and it's probably a custom of a country, but I'm happy with mine.
Yeah, I also read in a book, for example, that there is like different urine from different animals for different things. Like for example, if people use fermented dog urine, it would be very good for like putting on the hair, for white hair to return its color. If people drink urine for the wild boar, that's very good for dissolving the kidney stones. If people use like cow's urine for drinking and these things.
Yeah, that's pretty cool if you happen to be around those animals.
Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows? There's all kinds of, there was one woman, she had a YouTube and she was drinking her dog's urine and she claims it was her secret to health. But, once the media gets their hands on stuff, they will demonize it. I was interviewed on Channel 7 and out of Denver, and they came to my house, and one of my associates in our local nonprofit, we brought out our urine and we drank it in front of them and we showed them the protocols, and they did a lovely story on the lifestyle of urine therapy drinkers. And at the very end, they brought in a doctor to bash the whole thing. And despite the fact that they tried to turn the story at the very end, it still has 30,000 views.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah,
so people who are looking for answers to their health, they'll see through the media hype.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yay.
I agree with that. Yeah. Yeah, they did different things. So I also wanted to ask you,
You still got me. You still got me.
like in a book I saw that that Hindu God was talking with his wife, and the conversation came up that the people should sleep directly on earth. So like, for example, I was and waking in 3-4 a.m. drinking urine and putting through the mouth and stuff. So is it enough for people to just take grounding devices, or should they literally sleep on the ground? Because I have some ideas to make underground house, literally specifically to have my like oxygen chamber underground, and to like sleep on the mud or the ground, and to drink urine when I wake up to see the effects.
Well, right here, I'm not going to pull this out, but I sleep on the ground. I have a pad that's about that thin, kind of like a yoga pad. And what I do is I just put out all the bedding at night, sleep on it. In the morning, I roll it up, and I use the room for doing massage and broadcasting and other things. And that's just been a way of life for years and years. I can't stand beds.
I
Except when I go to a hotel, that's another thing.
When I sleep on an incline bed, like I put like bricks 6 inches below, and that like speeds up the circulation. And I think it's very good for urine therapy too, because people who start sleeping like that, because when people are on operation tables, they need to be flat, and their circulation stops and moving of the fluids. So it's one of the leading causes of heart attack. Actually,
so your feet are elevated?
No, that's actually the worst thing. The head should be elevated, because
your head's elevated.
Yeah, like 6 inches or more. 6 inches is for the beginners, but 4 inches and stuff, the people get used to. And the kidneys are flushed through the night, and then people actually get a lot more urine in the morning, especially those who are like older, because their fluids will be stagnant for such a long time, and it's like flushing liters and liters of urine. And there's some morning when I literally pee like a liter of urine or half a liter of urine, the first morning urine.
Do you find that having the reclined angle causes you to sleep through the night without having to get up and pee as often?
Yeah, but only when I go to sleep like 9-10 p.m. because my melatonin is keeping me very calm, and with no lights in the room and stuff like that. And what else did I want to mention? Yeah, like when I sleep on the bed, it also slows down people's breathing, and that can prolong life in general, and slows down the heartbeat. So the main arteries is pumping blood, like a thinner blood, and then people's circulatory system can be actually far more loose and younger, and people will be more elastic and stuff. So maybe that's very good for yogic practice too, if you are doing that.
And are you able to have circulation, like an open window?
Yeah, I can open the window, but actually just yesterday I was sleeping like sitting on my flat bed, and I woke up and I was so tired, and I had a kidney problem, like a big pain, and then I lay on a flat bed, everything's gone. And
interesting.
Yeah, and also, for example, flat surfaces people say are bad for everything, and because like when people sit on a flat chairs, people get tired, and that's like Andrew Fletcher is the guy on Facebook. He has a inclined bed therapy group. Like people are saying that that's one of the causing of car accidents. People get tired and like numb, and something hits them and they're gone.
Yeah, they conk out.
Yeah. So.
Okay. So we're going to do this again on Friday, on Tuesdays and Fridays. If you know anybody who can't make Tuesdays and Fridays, I'll put together this on other days of the week. So, we can make this up. Or if you guys decide that Tuesday and Friday are difficult, let me know and we can switch things around on the calendar.
Yeah.
Okay. I've got some flexibility right now.
Yeah, that's cool for me.
Okay, Angel Natalie and Angel Nicola. Thank you so much for coming to class and for participating in something which is life-changing.
yeah, it was for me. I felt many benefits.
All right. May the juice be with you.
Cheers.
Wait, I have mine. Well, yeah, I have mine here. Cheers.
Did you ever imagine you would grow up and drink pee with friends?
Never in my life.
I never
Never.
thought I'd be a pee drinking man from Texas and be able to be talking about it, but cheers, people. Everybody,
Cheers.
much love to you.
The rest of our days are the best of our days.
That's true. The better it gets, the better it gets.
That was actually mixed a little bit with raw milk because I kind of use whatever I have. But yeah, it's okay.
Beautiful. All right, guys, I'm going to close out this call and then take some time to upload it and I'll send it out to you guys.
Okay, thank you, brother.
All right, much love to you.
Okay, bye.
You too. Bye bye.